what is object-oriented programming and why do we need it? When you search on Google about OOP, then it will give you very complicated answer. But actually, OOP is not complicated at all. OOP is developed to solve real-world complex problem in a simple way. Object-oriented programming assumes that everything in the world is an object and each object can have unique properties. So let's take real-life example to understand this concept. Consider we want to build a program to store data of all the persons in India. This program seems complicated at first, but if you try to solve it using OOP concepts, then it becomes very easy. So OOP assumes that each person in the world is an object which has unique properties like name, age and gender. So the structure used to store this property is called as class. Now consider we want to store data of a person named Ross. Ross is a 21-year-old male. So we will create object of a person class which will have properties like name is equal to Ross, age is equal to 21 and gender is equal to male. Similarly, if we want to add data of a Rachel, then we will create another object of a person class which will have properties of Rachel. Once an object is created, then we can save it in any database. In Java, class is like a blueprint or template. It defines the property and behaviors of the objects that are created from the class. In programming, classes contains variables and function. Variable defines property of a class. For example, person class variables will be name of person, its age, etc. Then functions are like actions or behavior of that class. For example, human class can have eating, walking and talking as a function which explains about its behavior. Class is just a structure or blueprint, but object is an actual entity that is built from a class which will have actual values of the variables of a class. Object of a person class can be Ross, who is actual human being which has a name, age and gender. Now let's understand syntax of classes and object. First comes class keyword followed by name of a class. In our case, name will be person. Now we have to declare variables and function inside curly brackets. So for our example, we will define three variables: name, age and gender. After defining the variable, we have to define the functions. For this example, we will define two functions. One is for setting name, age and gender and second one is for printing name, age and gender. So let's define the first function, which is set values. This function won't return anything, so its return type will be void, and since we need to define actual values of a variables of the class, this function will take three parameters as input, which are actual name, actual age and actual gender. Now inside curly bracket, we have to write a logic to setting the values of this actual variables to the class variable. So we will write name is equal to actual name, gender is equal to actual gender and age is equal to actual age. Now our function for setting value is ready. So let's define another function with the name print value. This function will not return anything, so its return type will be void, and since it's just printing, we don't need to pass parameters to it. Now we have to write the logic of printing inside the curly brackets. So we will use system.out.println to print the name and age of a person. So our function for printing value is ready and our person class is complete. Now to access functions into another class, we have to define objects of a class where we will provide actual values of this variable. So let's create another class. We will call it as person database and we will create object of a person class inside the main method. Now inside the main method, we have to define objects. The syntax for defining the object is like syntax for defining the normal variable. First comes the type, which will be the name of a class. In our case, it's a person. Then comes name of an object. And in our case, we will name it as a Ross. And then comes equal to sign followed by the new keyword and constructor. We will see what is constructor in next video. For now, understand that we have to write name of a class followed by open and close bracket to create object of the class. Now our object is ready. So let's call the method to set the values of our class variable. To call the method, we have to use object.method name. In our case, it will be Ross.setValues, which will take the three parameters, which is actual name, age and gender. In our case, name will be Ross, age will be 24 and gender will be male. Now let's create another object called Rachel and we will call the setValues method, which will have actual values for Rachel. Now if you try to call printValues method using Ross object, then it will print hello there, my name is Ross and I'm 24-year male. And if you try to call printValue method using Rachel object, then it will print hello there, my name is Rachel and I'm 24 years old female. So now let's jump to Eclipse and execute our program. First we have to create a new class called person. For it we will right click on package name, then click on new and then click on class. We will name our class as a person and then click on finish. As you can see, Eclipse has already generated syntax for class creation, which is public class person. In our case, person is a class name and public is access specifier. We will see what is public in future video. For now, we have to write syntax for variables and function creation inside curly brackets. So I will just paste whatever we discuss in the video. So in this class, we are creating three variables, name, age and gender, and two functions to set and print their values. So our person class is ready. So let's save it. Now to create object of this person class, we have to create another class called person database. So let's go to package, right click, click on new and then class. We will name this class as person database. And then we will click on include public static void main. This class will act like a main class. Now let's click on finish button. Once you click on finish button, then Eclipse will auto generate the public static void main for us. Now inside void main, we have to create our objects and call the function. So I'll just paste the syntax whatever we discuss in the video. Here we are creating two objects. First is Ross and second is Rachel. And we are calling setValues method on both the object. And another method which is print value will print this value. So our person database class is now complete. So let's save it. Now to run, you have to click on this run icon. As you can see, it has printed, hello there, my name is Ross and I am 24 years old male. This first statement will be printed by ross.printValues method. And second statement, hello there, my name is Rachel and I am 24-year-old female. This statement will be printed by Rachel.printValues method, which is printing the value of this parameter, Rachel 24 and female. So to sum up, classes are like a blueprint and objects are like actual instance of the classes. For example, class can be cars, which has the properties like name and color, and objects can be actual cars like BMW or Mercedes. Another example can be bank class with the variables like name and rate of interest, and objects can be actual values of a bank like SBI and HDFC. That's it for today's video. In the next video, we will learn about constructor.